After man has successfully industrialized the moon, he will turn his sights to the first interplanetary manned mission to Mars. The crew selected for that first voyage will leave our lunar orbit in fusion-powered vehicles constructed by Lunar Industries and arrive at the red planet within the span of several days. Such a voyage must be accelerated by nuclear fusion rockets, preferably at a force of 1 Earth gravity. Man and the rest of life on Earth was designed to live in a gravitational field. Without such gravitation, we incur degenerative syndromes reminiscent of earthbound disorders like osteoporosis. A path through the space-time between Earth and Mars must then be charted in order to provide such an accelerated trip. At this rate of change of motion, man will be the first creature to experience relativistic space-time. A fleet of perhaps 5 ships will carry several dozen crew members to Mars, accelerating until the halfway point and decelerating the other half. When they arrive at Mars, the craft could assemble into an orbiting space station as a communications base between Mars and the Earth. The crew will then be taking turns landing on the surface, where the first manned bases will have already been constructed by robots. These accelerated voyages allow human beings to become the masters of space and time. The first mission will soon be followed by another, developing to the point where there are always several flotillas of ships traveling between the Earth and Mars. Most cargo can be sent on the slow inertial paths which today's short-sighted planners are designating for people, so-called Hohmann transfers. These slow cargo craft, reminiscent of today's river barges, will define a subset of a growing network of trade routes throughout the solar system. In our first man-hours spent on Mars, we will collect more knowledge than has been gained in 40 years of sending robotic landers to this planet, which will be retired to Martian museums when they are found by the colonists. We could have the first permanent colonies on Mars within 40 years, and missions to the asteroid belt and the outer gas giant planets soon thereafter, only if current economic policies are changed to those based solely on increasing man's physical power over the universe. Like the change experienced in going from land-based cultures to maritime civilizations through astronavigation, the transformation of humanity's self-conception as a species acting within the universe as a whole moves us farther beyond the infantile bounds of belief in sense certainty. It is this kind of subjective reorientation that lends ultimate meaning to the revolutionary new technologies and scientific discoveries that space exploration produces. For Kraft Erika, the transition of human civilization from a two-dimensional society, limited in thought and action to the surface of the planet, to a three-dimensional society, in which the mental and physical horizons are infinite, represented what he called the cosmic birth of human civilization.
I cannot imagine a more foreboding apocalyptic vision than the fate of a mankind possessed with cosmic powers and condemned to solitary confinement on one small planet. The greatest promise of space is to consider it always a home, never a prison, lest we make it one in the insanity of our smallness.
Man's self-fulfillment lies perpetually in the future, never completed but continuously approached by each succeeding generation. If happiness lies in its pursuit, then there is no happier task for mankind than to extend itself into the unbounded cosmos, where the goal of mere survival gives way to the more interesting challenge of creation. The creation of new technologies, new civilizations, and eventually perhaps even the creation of new planets and new solar systems. The long span of human history and the much longer span of life on this planet prove that technological challenges can always be overcome. Unfortunately, we as a species have yet to take to heart the true lesson that achievements like the moon landings teach us. These lessons are best expressed by what Erica called the 3 fundamental laws of astronautics, which lie at the heart of the extraterrestrial imperative. First law: nobody and nothing under the natural laws of this universe impose any limitations on man except man himself. Second law: not only the Earth, but the entire solar system, and as much of the universe as he can reach under the laws of nature, are man's rightful field of activity. Third law: by expanding through the universe, man fulfills his destiny as an element of life, endowed with the power of reason and the wisdom of the moral law within himself. "21 years ago, in a nationally televised broadcast during the 1988 presidential election called The Woman on Mars, Lyndon LaRouche proposed a comprehensive 40-year program for the colonization of Mars as an economic driver for a United States already in the midst of post-industrial collapse. In many ways, we are farther from that goal today than we were then, having lost not only time, but much of our advanced industrial capability and skilled workforce. More dangerous is the loss of the optimism in the future, which is needed for such a project to succeed. Therefore, this moment of crisis is the moment that makes such a radical change in thinking both necessary and possible.